Welcome back to the 5th episode of the Olvia Academy series. In this video, I'll be walking you through the basic and field combat quest lines step by step, explaining exactly what each quest teaches you and how to complete everything as efficiently as possible. If you're new to combat or just want to finish the course quickly without getting stuck, this guide will make the entire process simple and straightforward. To begin the combat quest line, click the deer icon on the top right corner of your screen and select basic tactics, and then head over to Cliff. Talk to him to enroll in the course and he'll guide you through the entire combat series. Unlike the other quest lines, you'll need to type Olvia from Tia directly in general chat at the start. Once you've typed it and the quest completes, head back to Cliff to begin the next quest. The next two quests introduces you to the foundations of combat, starting with crowd control skills and back attacks. The game will ask you to use a specific skill based on your class that applies crowd control. Just use a skill and kill the target NPC and it will count towards completion. After that, you'll be asked to perform a back attack. Simply position yourself behind the enemy and attack from the rear. Back attacks deal significantly more damage and are extremely important when grinding later on, so it's good to get comfortable with this early. Once these basics are out of the way, you'll be tasked with defeating 300 Bumblin Buccaneers. Before starting, I recommend using a cron meal and a harmony which Cliff gives to you, since both will increase your damage and make this quest go faster. After defeating all 300 enemies, head toward the next marked area. When you arrive, make sure you get off your horse or the cutscene won't trigger. After the cutscene plays, several captains will attack you, defeat them, and another short cutscene will follow. This is where many players get stuck because the game doesn't clearly explain what to do next. Open your Black Spirit, complete the quest, then go to Quest window, switch to the suggested tab, and then look for a quest that has Combat Course in brackets, which is usually near the bottom of the list. Accept it and then return to Cliff to continue. The next portion is mostly dialogue, so you can simply spam R to move through it quickly. Eventually you'll be asked to visit a house located between Olvia and Academy. Once again, make sure you dismount your horse so the cutscenes activate. After the scene finishes, head back to Cliff. After that, you'll be taught basic survivability and movement mechanics. This quest will have you perform evasion inputs like Shift S, Shift A, and Shift D. These movements help you dodge attacks and reposition during combat, and you use them constantly when grinding tougher areas. Next, you'll be introduced to defensive skills like Super Armor and Forward Guard. While you can simply defeat the NPC to complete this objective, I highly recommend experimenting with his skills here to see which one helps you remain protected. After that, you'll be asked to speak with Aileen, who is standing right behind Cliff. Talk to her and then immediately return to Cliff to proceed. The following quest sends you to obtain Church buff. These buffs provide temporary stats that are very helpful when grinding. In this case, I chose the cheaper option since it's more than enough for this course. Once you've taken the buff, return to Cliff again. Next, to receive Lightstones and artifacts inside a chest, open one of the chests, right-click the Lightstone to open the artifact interface. Then, insert the artifacts into the slots. After that, add your Lightstones to complete the setup. These provide bonuses that can be customized depending on whether you're focusing on combat or life skill. If you're unsure which combination to use, you can check a site like Garmoth for recommendations. Once everything is equipped, head back to Cliff. From here, the questline sends you to Hystria Ruins. Follow the quest arrow for navigation when you arrive. You'll need to defeat several monsters inside the area, and after finishing, follow the arrow again. Open your Black Spirit to complete the quest, and then go back to suggested quests and accept one labeled with Combat Course. You'll notice this pattern repeats several times from this point forward. You'll go through several short combat scenarios that include small cutscenes followed by waves of enemies. Each time, simply defeat the monsters, complete the quest with your Black Spirit, and then accept the Combat Course quest from the suggested tab. At one point, you'll need to speak to an NPC directly in front of you that you can easily miss. There's also a mysterious trace nearby you can interact to bring you back to Olvia. If you don't notice it like me, you can also use travel maps and a well to return to Olvia, but this is a bit longer. One of the longer tasks will require you to defeat 600 Thornwood monsters and 50 Turos. Teleport to Odalita using the well and use a cron meal and a Camasilva drop, which helps since these are Camasilvan monsters. If you're newer or lower geared, resistance crystals make a big difference. Knockback resistance works well for Thornwood, and knockdown resistance crystals help a lot against Turos. Return to Cliff once both of these are done. Next, you'll learn about rage mechanics, specifically absorption, transfer, and escape, which correspond to Z, X, and V. The Z buff is particularly extremely useful while grinding because it boosts your damage and efficiency, so make sure you get used to using it regularly. After completing the objective, return to Cliff. You'll then be sent to Gyfin near Grana. I recommend using the well again for faster travel. Then accept the quest from the Black Spirit and defeat 150 Gyfin monsters. Since these are also kind of monsters, use a common drop, which will speed up the process. After finishing, follow the quest arrow through another cutscene and eventually you'll return to the academy. Next, you'll learn the mechanics of Honglim Base, enter through the teleport chamber, and continuously defeat the monsters until a fox appears. That helps clear the area. Once the objective completes, head back to Cliff. After that comes the Jade Starlight Forest mechanic tutorial. Enter the same way as before, focus on one tower at a time while defeating monsters around it. After destroying all 3 towers, the boss will spawn and the towers will respawn. Lure the boss near a tower and destroy it while he's close, which applies a huge debuff and makes him much easier to kill. Finish the fight and return to Cliff. Finally, you'll begin the last combat challenge. You'll choose a colored monster pack to kill first. After clearing it, the game will randomly assign another color, and you must defeat the specific color pack next. Continue following the color orders until a butcher boss spawns. Be careful here because once he dies, all nearby enemies will wake up and rush to you. However, you'll also deal a lot of extra damage. Once you're finished, return to Cliff one last time. Just like the earlier course, type Olvia Frontier in general chat to officially complete the combat course. And congratulations, you've now completed the Olvia Academy combat course. Don't forget to open your Y menu to claim your rewards, and make sure to collect your Academy rewards as well. Thank you for watching my combat guide. If you'd like to learn more about grinding, life skills, or progressing faster, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next episode.